Hello, online crew, and welcome to today's live where I'm sharing with you something that has the power to make or break you, not only in your business, but in your world, in your life, in your relationships, in your health, with everything. This is something that I had to have a very stern conversation with myself this morning at about 2:30 in the morning. The way I was actually thinking about something, I had to sort of talk myself kind of through it. So I know if I'm going through it, and this is just reality for most of us, I know that this conversation you should be able to relate to. So what I'm sharing with you today is really, really important. And the reason that I share this kind of information with you is I'm a big believer that although we're all here to build our businesses, and if you're following me, listening to any of my lives, it's probably because you want to leverage social media and use modern social media strategies to build your business online. That's why you're here to learn, get that. And there's all sorts of skills that come with that, which, we all need to know. But at the end of the day, you're the only one that can make it happen. It's not the latest trend. It's not the latest reels or TikTok or conversations or those kind of things that's really going to build you an amazing business. It's going to be you. Like the way that you think, the way that you move, the actions that you take, all those kind of things. That's what's going to build you a fabulous business. So it really comes down to the person that you are, as well as all the skills that you're going to learn. But most importantly, it's the person that you are, and it's the person that you become. And are you worthy of, if you want to get into six figures, are you worthy of a six-figure income? Do you think like somebody that earns six figures? Do you take the actions of somebody that earns six figures or beyond? Are you that person? And for most people, they just won't be. So there's a lot of growing that we all need to do. And I tell you, it doesn't matter where you get to, there's always room to improve. There's always the next level you want to go to. And you're never satisfied when you get there. Like you're here and you get to this level, and suddenly that's not enough. You want to get to the next level. So with each level, it takes growth. Would you agree with that? That you've got to grow as a person to keep elevating. Otherwise, you'll stay stagnant and you'll stay stuck. Or if you don't continue to work on yourself, you will go backwards. In business. So if you're live with me, say hello so I can give you a bit of a shout out. If we haven't met before, my name's Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. I am here to serve our amazing online crew community here of home-based business owners, direct sellers, social sellers, entrepreneurs, all of the above. And you want to learn modern social media strategies to build your business online. That's what I'm about. But my motto is to be a human before a marketer. So in everything that I do online or offline with building my business, I think it's really important to be a human. And I'll give you a little example of that. This is the kind of stuff that annoys me about the online world. I'm going to go on a little tangent here because this is how strongly I feel about being a human before a marketer. If we haven't spoken for a few days, a number of days, and we bumped into each other in the street, what would be the first thing that you would say to me? So we haven't seen each other for, a few days or a week or even longer than that. What would you say to me if we literally bumped into each other at the supermarket or something like that? Would you go straight into the conversation or straight into asking me a question? Or would you say, hey, how are you? How's things? I've been meaning to ask, blah, blah. Like, as humans, we act a certain way in front of each other. Do yourself a favor and remind yourself of that conversation when you're dealing on social media. Because way too many people just shoot off a message or a sentence or something like that, there's no There's no care factor. You're not treating people like a human. It's just what you want on the other side of the message. And I got one of those on the weekend. Somebody just shot me a message. I'd left a message days before, and it's just like, hi, how are you? You know what I mean? So my whole motto, my whole mantra is just treat humans like, if you're talking to somebody every day, you don't have to say hello in every message. Like, it's not that. I don't mean that, but just treat people like you would on social media, like you would in person if you were sitting next to them. It's just something it just annoys me when people don't. If you know me well, you know that about me. I just think it's rude when people anyway, I'll get off that bandwagon. So a couple of reminders before I go into what I really want to share with you today. Do any of you agree with that? My way of thinking along those lines. I just find it rude the way people treat social media, talk to people on social media, the way kids speak to each other on social media. Like, it baffles me sometimes. Anyway, tomorrow on Clubhouse, we're talking about how to, like, engagement with your audience, building relationships and building an audience, and how do you do that, and all sorts of tips around that. So make sure you join us for Clubhouse. Coaching community members, I'm going through something that I think you all should know this week, which is to do with growing your audience. But if you're on a personal profile, if you're on Instagram getting followers, you're on Facebook, friend requesting, and you should always be doing that. If your network is not that big, you should always be friend requesting and building up your network and using social media, the opportunity for that, which is great. But where do you find the right people? Where are some of the most amazing places to find the right people for you to friend request? So I'm going to go through that with you guys in the coaching community this week. And don't forget, this time next week, we'll be starting the free Lead Generation Bootcamp. So if you want to grow organically, you want to learn how to get more leads organically, how to attract those leads, how to track those leads, what to do with those leads, everything leads, organic leads, then join us for the Lead Generation Bootcamp starting next week. So that's helenmartinonline.com/lead generation. Just register for that so you can get the workbook that we're going to work through. Okay. And when you register, you'll get all the replays sent to you every day, all those kind of things. So there's just a few reminders there. Who's here with me live? We've got Beth. How are you? Tuning in from the lake. Sounds wonderful. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer agrees. Hello, Tina. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Novlet. Great to see you. Hello, Ford. Great to see you here. How are we all doing? Great. Hope you're great too. So true. It's all about relationships. Good evening to Facebook user. If somebody's showing up like that, it just means you're watching from my group, and you just need to click the StreamYard link at the bottom of the description of this live. So let me share this with you. Psychologists have determined, so this is scientifically backed, what I'm talking about today. It's not just my thoughts and opinion. This is researched very well, and psychologists have found in many, many, many research that through many, many pieces of research, should I say, that your subconscious mind will absolutely interpret through what you actually, go and do, what it hears. So just think about that for a minute. Your subconscious mind, your life will play out like subconsciously. Sometimes if you do things without even thinking about them, or you think certain things and you don't know why, psychologists have found that your subconscious will act on the things that you hear. So my point here is, what are you saying? What will make or break you, not only in your business, but in the way you carry out your entire life, is through every single word that comes out of your mouth. Now, stay with me. And I'm like, oh, is that all she's going to say? Is that all it is? Really listen to this. If you actually realize the power of the words that come out of your mouth with anything, talking about people, behind people's backs, about your business, about the time you do or don't have, about various things in your life, you wouldn't say half the things that come out of your mouth if you were aware how your subconscious acts on that. I guarantee it. When you're aware, and that's what these first videos of every week are, like why I like to raise these things, because I really like to raise your level of awareness of the things that are actually stopping you in your tracks. And half of the things that come out of your mouth, or the thoughts that are in your head, sometimes they don't even get to your mouth. Like me at 2:30 this morning, I was thinking about something, and there's something that's frustrating me at the moment. So I was thinking about that. Do any of you wake up in the middle of the night and, there's things that you're thinking about and you're mulling over and you're not sure what to do about it? They catch up with you at like 2:30 in the morning. And I stayed awake for over an hour thinking about this. And I eventually had to say to myself in my own head, you need to change your thoughts around this, Helen. You need to reframe this and the way that you're thinking about this, because you're making it worse by thinking of it in that way and worrying about it in that way and thinking about how hard it is in that way. You need to change the way you're thinking about it. So I'm having this conversation with myself at 2:30 this morning. So then when I'm like, I have a level of awareness around it, I have to think, okay, it's not that hard. I can work through that. I have to change the way I'm approaching this for me to be able to resolve this. So I had to talk myself around how I actually was seeing something and thinking about something, because I'm never, ever, ever going to solve what it is that I was, that I'm worrying about, that I'm stressed about a little bit, that's concerning me, if I don't change my frame of mind around how I'm going to approach it. If you realized how your subconscious brain acts on the words that you said, you would never complain. Because when you complain, you actually reinforce something that's not positive. How many of you complain about time? I don't have enough time to fit it all in. I didn't get enough time to do it. Life got in the way this week and I didn't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Like, a lot of you will not do the things that you need to do in your business, or, not get done what you need to because you're complaining about time. And this is what I mean about how your subconscious acts. While you keep that dialogue and that language up about the struggle that you have with time, guess what? It's all your subconscious hears. Oh, that person struggles with time, so we better struggle with time, because that's what this person is telling me, that they struggle with time. So your physical reality, your being, your world, your life, your days, your weeks, your years, they will become a struggle with the things that you continually sell yourself. And this is actually a really scary thing to think about, because most people think negatively rather than positively. Do they not? Like, do you know that person when you say, how are you? And they're like, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, not feeling good, down and out, this is going on. They're reinforcing negative down behaviors. So it's bad enough when we think it up here, but when we share with other people and we say it out loud, do you realize the power of what that's doing to you and your life? Now, I know this industry is not easy. It's not necessarily that difficult, but it's not easy to do day in, day out. And most people in this industry, and when I say industry, I mean entrepreneurship, I mean direct selling, I mean social selling, all of that. There are lots of things to complain about, correct? There's things that you should be doing that you're not doing. That's a complaint. You're busy with other things in your life and you prioritize those. That's a complaint. When you continually think those things and then you say those things out loud, you're never going to have an amazing business. So what will make or break your business? There are lots of things that will make or break your business, but it's got to start with the way that you approach the business, the things that you think are an actual challenge. As soon as you start saying to yourself, something is hard or something is a challenge, or you've got all these things in the way of you succeeding, you need to stop and instantly say to yourself, I need to reframe that. I need to reframe that. I need to change my language. I need to say it differently. Because unless you make that change, your subconscious will act out exactly what you say. So thinking it is one thing, saying it out loud to others with all the challenges that you've got, all the problems that you've got, all the hiccups that you've got with your business, you know how this goes. What you focus on, you get more of. And some of you are not even aware of how much you focus on the negative. Are you hearing my message? I really think we need to have real conversations about this kind of stuff, because sometimes we are our own worst enemy and we don't even realize it. So unless you even realize what it is that you say to yourself in the middle of the night or every day, or you're being accountable to somebody or someone about your business, and it's like, oh, I just didn't get time this week. Or, and you're constantly complaining about time. If that's your language, if that's what you constantly say, and I know there's a lot of you listening that use time as an excuse to not get done what you need to do in your business. I bet there's at least one of you listening or catching the replay that you know that you complain about time to get things done. But here's the reality of that. Your subconscious will act out what you think and what you say. So if you're constantly complaining about time being a problem, time will always be a problem. And your body, your subconscious will go and do things, and you're doing things and you're not even aware that you're wasting time. But your subconscious will act on the things that you tell it and it hears. So what are you thinking? What are you saying to yourself and others? You've got to reframe that to be in the positive. So if you've got a real struggle with time, change the language. As soon as you hear yourself complaining about time, change that wording in your head to say, okay, I'm being really effective. Like, wake up in the morning and go, I'm really being really effective with my time today, and I'm going to make time for my business today and every day because it's important to me and I'm worth it. So I'm going to make time for my business today. I'm going to make time for my business today. There are no excuses. I'm going to make time for my business today. If you start telling yourself that every day, your subconscious will help you start doing things for your business that you weren't doing before, because it acts on what you think and what you say. This is so, so, so powerful. You have a choice to reframe the way you think as long as you're aware. If you're not aware, you'll just keep doing what you've always done. So the reasons I share these kind of things in these videos is to make you highly, highly aware that you have a choice as to the way that you think. So it doesn't mean you're not going to think things that are not necessarily positive. It means when you wake up at 2:30 in the morning, like I do, and stay awake for an hour worried about something, and, probably 45 minutes of that still, mulling through my head of what it is and how the hell am I going to do that or work around that or whatever, to me eventually telling myself, and you're not thinking about this the right way. You've got to completely reframe how you're approaching this particular issue. And I will sort this out. And I will move positively in that direction. And I will, so I completely reframed the thoughts in my head. So I just can't stress how important this is. Yes, you'll learn a whole lot of stuff on social media, and you can learn content creation and time blocking and reels and TikTok and conversations and how to bring up conversations with people about your business. None of that matters when you tell yourself you don't have enough time for your business. None of that matters when you don't tell yourself or have positive thoughts about the fact that you actually think you can be successful in this business. Because most of you got a little voice in your head that tells you you won't be. Or you're always questioning whether you can be successful. And when you question that, that's your reality. Your reality is absolutely 100% a byproduct of the way that you think. And the way that you think creates what comes out of your mouth. So what are you thinking? Are you that positive person? Are you that person that everybody loves to be around and you inspire people because of your outlook in life? Are you always creating new things and being, inspiring to yourself? Are you giving the time that you need, the space and energy to really think things through? Are you reframing your thoughts all the time? It doesn't mean negative things aren't going to crop in. Negative stuff crops in my head all the time. But one of the skills I've learned, which is what I share with this community all the time, is to reframe it, reframe it, reframe it. Pivot, 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 pivot. Please pivot. Remember me at 2:30 in the morning when you're stressing about something. Oh, what's that thing Helen said? I've got to reframe that. Because there's so much research behind your reality is absolutely 100% a result of the way that you think and the way that you speak. So how are you thinking and speaking? Think about that. Okay? So just checking in with a couple of comments here. Christina, we all have enough time. We just need to make the choice on how we spend it. Absolutely. The most wealthiest people on the planet do not have any more time than you and me. So how can they do it and you can't? We all only have 24 hours in a day. No one creates more time for any one individual. They just work smarter, they work harder, they believe in themselves, they troubleshoot, they come up with solutions, they get really focused on what they need, they stay streamlined with that instead of being all over the place. They're more focused on their goal. How focused are you? Or are you going around in circles? Sheila, I often wonder, how does a person do that? They just get right to the conversation. I had to ask a teacher if that's the way she speaks to her students, not calling each by his or her name. Yeah, I love social media and the opportunities that social media brings every single one of us for our businesses. But I don't like it for communication and the way a lot of people use it or misuse it. And I'm not a big fan of it for kids. I think there's a time and place for social media, but not for kids. Even my teenage boys, they're on it too much. Social media for kids is very damaging. So it's interesting. It's got so many advantages for us all in our businesses, but I think the art of communicating really well with human beings has gone out the window for a lot of people, and I think that's sad. Our consciousness will direct us either positive or negative. Absolutely. Yep, well said, Jennifer. Consciousness, awareness, choice. Yes, that's you, Laurie. How are you, Laurie? So powerful. Thank you. We need to control over negativity. I'm so focused on all the things I need to do that I lose focus. Yeah, focus is so important. You've got to have that focus to know what it is that you need to get to the next level in your journey. And everybody's got a different journey of what they need and what they need to learn, online, offline, whatever it is. But keep that really positive outlook on what it is that you need to do, what you need to stay focused with. And when you're battling with something and you hear yourself complain, pivot. Go change your language, because your whole reality right now at this point in your life is a result of the way that you think and you speak to yourself and others. So if you are not where you want to be, you need to change the language in your head. When you change the language in your head, you change what comes out of your mouth. And then you'll start to change your reality. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I hope you take something away from this. This is as powerful as I'm hoping you can absorb it, because this will literally make or break you in this business. But not only that, the relationships with your loved ones, even your kids. Pick up language of the kids when they say, I can't do that. It's like, yes, you can. Don't use that word. It's just a matter of, a choice. Change your language. I'm often saying to my kids, change your language. And I say it to myself a lot. So for whatever that's worth, I hope it's helpful. Please have a think about that and just catch yourself. Catch yourself when those negative thoughts pop in, or you're all over the place, you're scattered, get focused. Okay. So join us on Clubhouse tomorrow. We're talking about engaging with your audience, building an audience, the different ways that you can build with an audience. And I'll see you for more great training this week as well here. Bye.